everyone. It's 11 minutes before 4 o'clock. I promised to introduce you to one of the great news stories of this generation or any generation. His name's Alan Law. Al Law's been recognized by the President of the United States. He's been recognized in Congress. He's been recognized in the Points of Light program. He's been recognized with the Jefferson Award. And you may never have heard of Al Law, but he is one of the great people. Paul Wellstone used to say that there was never anybody he ever saw that had more compassion for the poor, especially young poor people, than Alan Law. And here's what I want to tell you about it. For 32 years, he was a teacher, and yet he was working 70 hours, 80 hours a week after he would do his duties as a teacher to try to find ways to get food, jobs, programs to young poor people starting out in the Phillips neighborhood. And he put together a board, and he put together an organization called MRD, the Minneapolis Recreation Development, Inc., but he insisted that no one take a salary, not even the board of directors now. If you look at the filings with the tax man, you'll find that absolutely nobody receives a salary. But here's the topper. On a teacher's salary, Al Law has given more than $500,000 of his own money to the poor. $500,000 of his salary, and I'm telling you, this is a teacher's salary. He's gone broke more than once, but nobody in his purview has ever gone hungry because he's seen to it. Alan Law, thanks for being on the program.
Well, thank you, Don. I appreciate the opportunity.
Why do you do this?
People ask me because I guess they're amazed, and I usually tell them it's my obsessive compulsive behavior, but I think it's more the Lord gave me too much compassion. I wish I didn't have as much compassion. I know very often I know I should be sleeping, I should be back in my apartment, but I almost look for situations where I can improve things for people.
When was the last time you slept in bed, Al?
4 years ago.
Sleep in your car because you're driving 200 miles a night in your van.
I sleep usually, if I'm lucky, 1 hour a night, and then I call a couple friends at holiday gas stations out on 80th in Bloomington, right off Highway 100. They call and wake me up, and usually sleep in fact downtown, which is really a surprise because a lot of the people that I feed over at 1000 Curry and 1010 Curry at Salvation Army Harbor Light, they either call me Mr. Law or the sandwich man, and so very often I'm sleeping for that 1 hour, and I get a knock on the window. I look, because I just put my head back, that's how I sleep, and it's kind of a surprise, but the bottom line is I have a compassion for people, and it's like if I was back at my apartment, I'd probably feel guilty that I wasn't helping someone.
How many people do you serve?
Well, I feed over 300 homeless people every night, and of course families come first.
Wait a minute. You said you feed over 300 homeless families every night.
No, individual people. 300 kids, 300 people
every night.
Yes, that doesn't mean full meals, but it means something will go to at least 300 people, and that's why I drive the 200 miles every night, an average of 200 miles, different places where I'm able to get deals on food.
Where does the food come from?
Well, some from gas stations, some from restaurants, and all this food is prepared, none of this is made by myself, sandwiches or anything else. So everything has, a date and so forth. None of this is outdated. I would not give anyone any food that I wouldn't eat myself. So this is food, a lot of it, that would be thrown away. I just came from Byerly's this morning in Edina, where I got the day-old bread, about a half a van full. And again, these are things that a lot of people don't understand, and I don't understand myself why we're such a wasteful country, throwing things away.
A lot of people need what we throw away.
Absolutely, and I'm still not happy with a lot of the restaurants that automatically throw things away.
Yeah. And the laws are stringent about that.
I know.
And they have their hands tied. A lot of them told me that they'd love to be able to give away their food, but they've got to throw it away. Can you imagine?
Well,
You've got a law like that?
It sounds crazy, but unless you're out there and actually see what's going on, and a lot of people that I help, again, they appreciate it. It keeps families together. The other thing I try to do is put families together. A lot of people, all the people that I work with are below the level of poverty, and automatically a lot of them can't even afford an apartment. So what I do is I put 2 or 3 families together in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Okay, we got to get you some money somehow.
Okay.
We're going to figure out a way to get you some money because if you'll stick around,
okay,
we'll take a break, we'll come back, we'll find a way to get that to you, okay?
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Don Shelby. A remarkable man named Alan Law is with me right now, and for 38 years he has been helping people. He drives 200 miles a night in his own car to help 300 people. He feeds them. He creates programs for young disadvantaged youth. It never costs them a dime. He picks them up at their house. He pays for their food, he pays for the programming, and he drives them back to his house. On the side of this car he drives, that is just loaded to the brim with food, is his own private cell phone number, 612-423-9923, 612-423-9923. It's called the Youth Builder Program, and you can find it on the website at www.mrdinc.org. Just says on the side of the car, Love One Another, a nonprofit organization with no salaries, the Minneapolis Recreation Development Incorporated. We're going to keep Al over the top of the hour, and when we come back, what I want to do is get some pledges to help him out, because if anything that chaps him more than finding a lot of poor people homeless and without food is to have to ask for money. But this is, to me, probably the finest example of charitable giving anywhere, because nothing goes to salaries. All of it goes to food and for programs. And I've got pictures in front of me of inner city kids going places, doing things they've never done in their lives, and they're being fed and they're being cared for by this loving man, Al Law. Can you stick around for a little while?
I'd be happy to.
All right. And you don't have to ask for money. I'll do the asking, okay?
That sounds good.
All right. That's Al Law. Coming up in just a moment here on WCCO 830. The most charitable man in the world is a guy named Al Law. Don't get me wrong. I exaggerate from time to time. This is no exaggeration. The single most charitable man I've ever met in my life is Al Law. He has given more than $500,000 of his own money. Oh, he must be rich, you say. No, he was a school teacher. He was a school teacher, and he gave $500,000 to the poor, to programs that would benefit them, feed them, find recreation for them, and he's concentrated on the kids. He was a school teacher. I don't know, 32 years? How long were you a school teacher? 32 years he was a school teacher. And he would teach them during the day, and then at night he would go out and develop programs and find ways to find food to make sure that they were fed, because he knew a hungry kid couldn't study. And when he was a teacher, he took no excuses. He didn't want anybody to steal. He didn't want anybody to go out and have babies when they were 15 years old. And he made it very clear to them, and he's been awfully successful doing what he does. But you know, these highfalutin foundations will not pay any attention to him, because his program doesn't conform to their idea of what a program ought to be. His program happens to work. He hasn't slept in his own bed. He has not slept in his own bed for 4 years, because he puts 200 miles on his vehicle a night. He goes out to Stop and Shops and convenience stores, and he collects food they're going to throw away. He goes to Byerly's, he goes to places, and he gets food. Then he takes it to the street. He goes in parts of the community that you wouldn't be caught dead in. And he's not only safe there, he's welcome there. He's loved there. His name's Al Law. We'll talk more about him in just a moment. Now, I'm going to ask you to go to a website, or I'm going to give you a cell phone number. I'm going to ask you that if you've got a charitable dollar that you've got sitting around, I want you to give that to him, because at the end of this next 15 minutes, you're going to know why that's going to be a good investment.